Hey guys, Barb McGowan here, and I'm out to help all you home services folks. So I'm talking to contractors like HVAC, roofing, solar, insulation. And today I want to talk to you about how you can earn more money and work less. Yes, it is possible. No, it's not a pipe dream. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I helped an insulation company in California do just that. They were able to raise their prices 50%. So basically going from $4 a square foot to $6 a square foot and still making more money, being more profitable. And the crew, meaning the installers as well as the business owner himself, have been able to work less. So let me break it down exactly what that looks like for you. So the first step to being able to charge more money for whatever work that you're doing is to actually know what your pricing looks like now and what the profit is that you're making now. So you can use your accounting software like QuickBooks, for example, and you can fill out all this information. And if you want this template, I'm happy to provide it. Just drop a comment down below and I will get that over to you. But basically the way this works is it's a reverse job cost calculator. So let's say that you are an insulation contractor and you want to make a 15% net profit. That means after your COGS, which is cost of goods sold. So that's materials and labor. Plus whatever, vehicle repairs, that type of a thing. The direct cost of you doing the work, that's your COGS. But your COGS plus your overhead, that's all of your costs. So after all of the costs that you have to pay your rent, or if you're renting a storage space or, leasing equipment or whatever it is, but take away all those costs and whatever money you have left, that's your net profit. So you need to determine what percentage of 100 you want your net profit to be. A healthy net profit for an insulation company is about 15%. I have that listed right here. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and show you using real world data what this looks like. So let's say we have a 1,500 square foot house. So right over here, anything that's blue, you want to fill in. Anything that's yellow, don't touch. But we're going to say that we have a 1,500 square foot house. So they were charging $4 a square foot before. Now let's look at how that actually breaks down in terms of what their profit was. So I'm going to skip over this for just a second and I'll show you why. But this is all stuff that I pulled from QuickBooks. So this is the daily cost for what they were spending on advertising and marketing for the year. But this is the daily breakdown of those numbers. So they're spending about $500 a day on advertising and marketing, $116 a day on rent, so on and so forth. This is general overhead, so that's like everything else. And so now I'm going to show you exactly how you fill this out to find out if you're actually making money on jobs or if you're losing money. Because that's one of the top reasons that contractors go out of business is they are charging the wrong amount. And so they're actually not profitable. And nothing sucks more than sending your guys out when it's freezing cold or burning hot and having them work their butts off only to realize you actually lost money on a job. Like, that sucks. All right, so I have all of these sample names over here. This number in this column is their wage plus what you pay for workers' comp and payroll taxes. If you don't know what that number is, you should be able to figure it out based on your QuickBooks. And you can always reach out to your workers' comp provider to give you that number. But for this company, basically the payroll taxes and the workers' comp adds an additional 19% onto whatever the employee's wage is. So for a 1,500 square foot job, they should be able to get through that in 2 days. So let's say we have Jack working 20 hours. And just as a little bit of additional context, these guys work a 4-day work week. So they're working 4 10-hour days and then they have Fridays off, just FYI. Your schedule might look a little bit different. Just take that into account. So let's say we have Jack and Sam. They're both working 2 full days on this job. That's going to give us this value, this 984, and that is inclusive of workers' comp and payroll taxes. And So I'm just going to plug that number in here for labor. Okay, there we go. So depending on, if you're a roofer, if you're an HVAC company, whatever, for insulation companies, this is going to be relevant, but this is going to be the cost of the material. So here in where we live in California, we need to blow in fiberglass insulation to R38. And so for a 1,500 square foot house, and just again, to give a little bit additional context, that $4 a square foot is to remove the old insulation, clean and sanitize the attic, air seal, install rodent-proof barriers, and then blow in new insulation. So this isn't just blowing more insulation on top. I just want to be clear about that. So this is full service restoration process. Okay, so we have 27 bags that we need, and this is just a simple formula that will tell you for however many bags you'll need to get to that R value. So we need 27 bags, go up here. This is the blown in fiberglass, and this is the cost. So if we have 27 bags in this blue cell, and I must have deleted some formulas in here, but we're gonna multiply the cost of the bags times the number of bags. So that's 1161, and that is labor and, I'm sorry, that's materials. Labor is right below. And then we're gonna enter the sales commission. So the way that this particular company does it, they actually have their sales guy on a salary. And so I'm gonna go in here and type in the number of days on the job, which is actually, let me escape out of there. So let me back up a step. Right here where it says number of days on the job. This is so important, you guys. This is probably, if you do a multi-day job and you're not accounting for this, this is, I can guarantee you, absolutely killing your business. Killing your business. You may have read, business books for contractors that say double your COGS, like double your labor and materials, and that'll give you the correct net profit. That it does not account for if you're doing a multi-day job. You have to account for your overhead. And you'll see, if you stick with me, you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, so we have 2 days on the job. So right here in this white set of cells, we see what the advertising and marketing, the rent, the admin payroll, and the general overhead is, because you have to account for that. 365 days of the year, you're spending money, whether you're working or not, right? And so you need to account for that and assign that or attribute that expense to your business. You need to pass that on to your customer because they're covering the cost of you being a business, and then you need to tack on a little bit extra to make that profit. Okay, so these are all the costs, and that's again the overhead, marketing, etc. And then I'm just gonna make sure. Okay, so this is accounting for 2 days of pay for the sales guy, which he earns $287 a day. So for 2 days, that's how much he makes. So we are making sure we attribute all of the costs that we have as a business into our calculations. So this is what's crazy. So for a 1,500 square foot house, charging $4 a square foot, that's $6,000. And this is where we generate our net profit. So this is taking everything into account. It's telling us what we have left over at the end. You guys, charging their old prices, they were actually losing $1,400 on this job. Like I said, you're sending your team of guys out there. Here where we live, it's super hot in the summer. So imagine sending your team out to sweat their butts off for 2 days, and then you lose $1,400 as a result. That sucks. Okay, so now I want to show you everything is the same, but now we're going to put this at $6 a square foot, which is what they're charging now on average. So $6 a square foot, it is a $9,000 job. Labor and materials stay the same. The sales commission stays the same. Overhead is all the same. And now look at that. Their net profit is 17.8%. That falls in the healthy net profit target category. So they're golden. So you might be thinking, well, if I charge more, I'm going to get less customers. Exactly. Yes, you are. And that's the point. Make more and work less. not just for you, but for your team. I'm sure they would much rather have a more chill, relaxed schedule than competing to get the lowest price possible and nickel and diming your competitors only to, make $100 on a job as your net profit. Like, that's terrible. All right. So now I want to talk about, okay, if you want to raise your prices so that you can achieve that 15%, like if you're an installation contractor, depending on your industry, if you're in roofing, if you're in HVAC, it might be different. But I'm just using this as an example. But so now you're probably asking the question, well, how can I justify charging that price? And I'm going to give you the roadmap for how you can do that. Excuse me. So number one, you need to make sure that you're getting Google reviews, period. 50% of the leads and appointments that this company gets, this installation company, it comes from organic traffic. That's free traffic, not ads, not paid traffic. And it's coming directly from Google and Google Business Profile, which is just your Google profile that has all your, customer reviews and that type of a thing. So why this is important. The first place that people are going to go when they hear about your business. So maybe they heard it from word of mouth, or they are doing a Google search to find out, roofing contractor near me, HVAC repair near me, whatever it is. The first place that they're going to look is on Google. I'll show you. So let's look for HVAC repair near me. First search term that comes up. All right, so I'm in Fresno. And so who do you think that they're going to pick? Like, we got Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, 3.3 thousand reviews. And they have a 4.8 rating. Let's check out more results. So they're at the top of the pack. They also have the Google guarantee, but that's a whole other video right there. So let's scroll down. So like, I've never even heard of this company, but they have 1 5-star review. Who do you think that the customer is going to go to first? They're literally, if in summer in Fresno, it's 115 degrees. So if somebody has an HVAC emergency, they're going to start at the top, call them. If they can't help them in their time frame they're looking for help, they're going to go to the next person and the next person, next person, so on and so forth. And people only care about, do you have good reviews and do you have a lot of reviews? It's like when you go to Amazon, you're not going to, if you're buying a ladder, you're not going to search for a ladder with no reviews just to give them a chance. Like, as much as a business owner hopes that that is how customers' minds work, that's not the case. So if you're not showing up at the top because you have a lot of Google reviews, people aren't going to look for you any further than the first 2 or 3 names on that list. So how do you get more Google reviews? Number 1, ask every customer. Ask every customer for their feedback, bad or good. The way that you can help nudge people over the edge of giving you a good review is making sure that they have a great first impression and a great last impression. And it's something in psychology called the recency and the primacy effect. Primacy meaning first, recency meaning last. So that's what people tend to remember the most. And so you need to train your guys, your installation team or your technicians, when they get there, don't park in the customer's driveway. Don't be smoking cigarettes, on the job site. Go introduce yourself and the people on your crew to the customer, shake their hand. You want to make that like a white glove custom customer service experience for them. Same thing when you're leaving. Again, that's that last impression that you get to make. So those are just like a couple tips, Something else that we've noticed that works is you might have that guy on your team that's just like, kind of antisocial or weird or whatever. I promise you that if you're like, hey, if you generate a 5-star Google review, I'm going to give you $20. Watch that guy bust out a tuxedo and all of a sudden become the most, charming and friendly dude you ever met. It's amazing what just a $20 bonus will do to someone that's quiet or shy or whatever. Money motivates and incentivizes your team. But ask a Google review for everyone. And there are automations that you can set up. We use automations at meetemma.io, which is the marketing AI and automations agency that I co-run with a couple of my buddies. But we can set up automations to where this is the flow. Every customer gets requests for feedback. Customers that provide a 4 or 5 star rating, they get sent a link to provide a Google review. Anybody that didn't have a good experience, that immediately gets escalated on your team internally so that the business owner or the production manager, the team leader, whoever, can reach out and make that right. Because it's not a complaint until the whole deal is closed out and you can't fix it anymore. So it gives you the opportunity to improve your business, improve your customer service, but also get reviews in the process. So ask every single person and then tweak your behavior and your customer service around that. Because those Google reviews are going to justify you having a higher price. And now I want to talk about the math behind it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just show you some quick math. Now, would you rather have, let's say we have, here's our leads. We have 100 leads. And we can either charge $4 a square foot or, plug in the price that you're currently charging. Or we can charge $6 per square foot. And we're going to say, for the sake of this illustration, that the square footage of the home on average for these 100 leads, or actually let's say these are appointments. So these are appointments. And the square footage on average is 1,500 square feet. And I'm going to use the real world example from the insulation company. So at $4 a square foot, the close rate was 50%. That's pretty good. That's a high close rate. At $6 a square foot, the close rate is 35%. This is something that I learned from running my own marketing agency and selling my own high ticket offers. If your close rate is 50%, that's too high. You need to raise your prices, period. And let me show you the math behind it. So of 100 appointments, if you close 50%, like in this example here, 50% close rate. So you have 50 customers and their average size is 1,500 square feet times $4 a square foot. That is $300,000. Pretty good. 50 jobs. That's a lot of work. Going to keep your guys busy. Okay, now let's look at $6 a square foot. At 35% close rate of 100 appointments, that's going to be 35 customers. The same 1,500 square feet. Everything else is the same except for the price and the number of customers that come through that end up becoming customers. So what do you think the profits or the revenue is going to be? It's more. Making more, working less. And just going back to this real quick, guys. So if you are making 17.8% net profit, so 17.8% net profit times your revenue. And let's do a quick calculation. 56,070. And now let's go back here and we'll change this to $4 a square foot. This is what they were doing before. They're making negative 23% net profit. So negative 23% net profit. Times 300,000 revenue. That's a loss of $69,000. So there's the math right there in front of you. I can 100% guarantee you that if you ask your guys, hey, would you rather work 35 jobs in the heat or in the cold and make more money? and make more profit and maybe leave a little bit of room in there for me to give you a bonus at the end of the year? Or would you rather work your butt off and have the business lose money? We go out of business and you're out of job. It's pretty easy choice. So in addition to getting more Google reviews, the other thing is you need to have a decent website. Decent, I'm not saying fancy. It doesn't need to be state of the art, but it needs to say who you are, what you do, who you help, your service area, have your contact information, name, address, phone number, and just have it be easy for people to reach out to you. Bare minimum, you need a phone number, and then have people that answer the phone every single time. And like I said, that's a whole other video for people who aren't answering their phone every single time it rings. And even if you are owner operator and you're out there doing the job, booking the jobs, doing the sales calls, like everything like that, there's still ways. And like I said, meetemma.io, we have automations that will literally do that for you. But it's so important, again, because if somebody searches for HVAC repair near me or insulation near me or whatever, they're going to start at the top. If the first guy doesn't answer, they're going down the list. And then by the time you call them back, maybe after your job's done in a couple hours, they've already booked somebody. The last thing I will add is, so good website, answer your phone, decent social media presence. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to sit there editing videos for hours on end. Just post some before and after pics. Just post some video footage that you capture, 15, 30 seconds of what you're doing at the job. Also, insider pro tip, if you're not already collecting video testimonials from your happy customers, you are missing out because, and I'll talk about this tomorrow, but you can use that to sell more jobs. It's that easy. Sell more jobs with less effort. The last thing is, and this is just a personal pet peeve of mine, but if you are not using a professional email address, you need to change that. And if you need help, drop it in the comments and I'll help you. But if your email address for your business is Gmail, if it's bobshvac@gmail.com, no. You can't charge a premium price when you have bobshvac@gmail.com. So get a real email address. And again, if you need help, put it in the comments. I think that's it. So I'm Barb McGowan. I'm with meetemma.io. We help small home services businesses, contractors just like you, that's HVAC, roofing, solar, insulation, make more money, work less, and implement AI and automations in your business so that you can work smarter and not harder. I'm going to be going live for 30 days, so today's day 1. If you found this content helpful, that's awesome. You can subscribe. You can hit the like button. You can leave a comment if there's content you want to see. If you're struggling with something in your business, I would love to help. Like I love solving problems like this and figuring things out like a detective. So go ahead, like, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video.